Hi, I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Well, usually it's me that's on the road, but this week, George is on the road. He's been hitting the highway a lot lately, and this week he's going to be joining us from Las Vegas, where he's attending NAB and WovoCon, and we're also going to be at the Voice Actors Studio and join Melissa Moats' Vegas Voicers. That's going to sound like a lot of fun.
I know. We're going to shine a spotlight on Jack DeGolia, who's a friend of our show, an extremely talented guy in his own right, and it's going to be a blast. Plus, we have a live studio audience.
And we'll take your questions in the chat room. Coming up next, so stay tuned. We'll see all of you there.
He is the home voiceover studio engineer to the stars in Los Angeles, California, a Virginia Tech grad whose knowledge of the latest recording gear is second to none. He is a voice actor and the home studio master. Hailing from Buffalo, New York, his home studio skills and knowledge of voiceover recording is unmatched. When Dan and George talk shop, people listen, and the talk continues tonight. Welcome to East-West Audio Body Shop. This is Rob Marley from Austin, Texas. This episode of East-West Audio Body Shop is brought to you by Edge Studio, providers of voiceover education, production, and technology. Harlan Hogan's Voiceover Essentials, products hand-picked for voice actors. The Home Studio Master, get a handle on your personal voiceover studio. And VoiceOver Extra, your one-stop resource for voiceover success. And now, live from his high-tech facility in Santa Monica and his soon-to-be former penthouse studio in Buffalo, here are George Whittam and Dan Leonard.
Good evening. I'm Dan Leonard in the East.
And I'm George Whittam in the West.
And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop. Boy, these guys can't take a cue. Jeez. Let's try that again. And together we are East-West Audio Body Shop.
Hey, that was good.
All right. Probably way out of sync, but the show is usually out of sync one way or another. How's it going? George, you are in Las Vegas. No, are you in Las Vegas or are you in Henderson?
I'm technically in Henderson, Nevada right now.
Okay.
And I am at the Voice Actors Studio. That's the official name of this place, right, Melissa? Yeah. This is an amazing facility that was created by Melissa and her husband, Troy. This has been a total team effort tonight to get this show on. I showed up here fashionably late at about 4. I expected to get here at 3. And so we set this whole thing up in about 2 hours. We have professional lighting in here. Ooh. We have three computers all on a network switch. We have 4 microphones, 3 cameras, an audience mic that's a wireless.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Yeah. And a speaker in the back so everybody can hear Dan's voice. And we threw all this together in 2 hours flat. So it was we also had help from Alex, Mike Martin, who was my co-pilot. Just a huge, huge team effort. So thanks to everybody that helped out to make this show happen.
All righty. Well, we got a lot to talk about tonight. We have some great guests. Melissa Moats is going to be talking to us about what goes on at the Voice Actor Studio and what goes on with the Vegas Voicers. And we've got some questions. And of course, we want to take questions from our live studio audience. You can show that shot of the live studio audience, or are you panning that now? Okay, good. Okay, so, we've got this live audience. We love doing this show in front of a live audience because we can never hear the laughter. It's like you'll say something and it's like, we know people in Seattle and Des Moines are laughing their butts off, but we can't hear them. So anyway. So we'll be talking with her. Jack DeGolia, who's sitting there in the front row, is going to be joining us too, who's been a huge factor in helping us get this show together every week and making sure that all of our audience hears and sees everything that goes on in the show because he takes care of the show notes. And he's just one really weird guy, so we had to have him on. Here we go. See the laughter. It just totally lifts the energy. That's what I like to see. You like this shirt? This is my California shirt. See, with the surfboards and the woodies and all that stuff. Anyway, but you can't really see it when I'm in full frame here. So what are you going to do? Anyway, I think we need to proceed on with, although there's only one story, with the news.
There's news?
There's one story.
Time now to take a look at the news. EWABS News.
And we're back.
Oh, okay. All right, here's the one story. Apparently, Mark Grau is in the hospital or was in the hospital, so get well. We have no idea what happened to him, whether he had a kidney stone or a heart attack or he broke his leg. He looked, and everyone was quoting, he was in Facebook, and everybody's like, how is it that you look better in a hospital bed than I do on my best day? It's, that guy just is good looking and takes good care of himself.
He does.
So, Mark, if you're watching, get well. And if anybody knows what happened to him, we're all really curious. Then again, who knows what it could have been? Maybe we don't want to know.
We live our lives so publicly, but certain things you just don't necessarily want public. So
that's true. But then why would he put his picture in Facebook saying I'm in the hospital?
You got one foot in and out of the door all the time.
That's true. Anyway, that's the news. Also coming up this week is WovoCon. Who's going to WovoCon there? Always a good representation from the Vegas Voicers. And I unfortunately won't be there, which makes me very sad. But I will address everybody on Sunday afternoon because we have some big announcements for members of World Voices. If you haven't joined World Voices yet, why not? And after WovoCon, everybody's going to be out there going, why aren't you joining? And each one of you will become an ambassador for this great organization, which has grown by leaps and bounds in the last 4 years. Or is it 3 years? It seems like a million, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Anyway, those are tonight's stories.
Should I play that video clip at the end?
Yes, that was the...
And that's a look at the EWABS News.
Okay.
I'm phoning it in tonight, folks. What can I tell you?
Yeah. All righty. Well, yes, we have a few questions. And of course, if anybody has a question in the live studio audience, make sure you raise your hand and we'll try and get you on there. If you have a question in the chat room, remember this show was really about home voiceover studio technology and, and voiceover in general. Tonight, marital advice would be a good one. But if you have a question about any one of these things, George and I will be happy to discuss it with the entire audience because, as you know, there isn't combined with our. Let's see, how long have you been doing this, George? I can't hear you. You're muted for some reason. I have to unmute you. There you go. No, you just remuted. There you go.
There you go. Sorry about that.
How long have you been in the voiceover engineering business?
Oh yeah, 25 years.
Okay, and 30 here. So with over 30 and 25 is 55. With the 55 years, combined years of experience, we probably can come up with the answer.
Well, we'll try. There's also
there's also and Wikipedia, but don't trust anything in there. I did an IPTIDL session this morning with a company in Oslo.
Really?
Yeah, no, it actually worked fairly well, except that I'm talking, they're like, why do you sound so far away? And I had set all the parameters right, and I was on the right mic, and it was recording all right. And then, why do you sound so far away? Because they were in Oslo. And I'm like, I don't know, but the recording is fine, and it was for this Norwegian thing for Pepsi Max. They needed an English voice that sounded like it was from New York. And I'm like, well, I'm from Buffalo. It's close enough, isn't it?
It's all one state.
Yeah, but it had to do with this Norwegian hockey player, Matt Zuccarello, who I thought was some Italian guy from Jersey. Apparently, he's Norwegian.
Who knew?
That's the great thing about this business. You never know what you're going to get at 8 o'clock in the morning when it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon somewhere else. Anyway, why don't we get into some of these questions for this afternoon? Because it's not afternoon there anymore, and it's actually dark here. But do you see the first question there from Mr. Carlson?
I'll let you start with that one.
Okay. But you're going to know the answer to this one probably. Hi, guys. Any issues with upgrading Universal Audio Apollo to Console 2.0? What I'm reading online indicates this isn't risk-free. I don't want to upgrade something that works well, but some of the new features like the plugin manager looks interesting. Your thoughts? Okay,
I'll give my thoughts. You have to tread lightly here because it's like many things in the world of tech. Is this my camera? Here we go.
Yeah, you're right there. Look, right to the camera there. There you go.
As many things in the world of tech go, it's not always a smooth transition to something that's new. And in this case, they totally rewired it on the inside as well as the outside. So it has a facelift, and on the inside, it's got a lot of changes. So depending on what your setup is, it could break certain things. Now, I happen to have set up his studio, so I know what he's doing there and what he's using it for. In his case, it's a very simple setup. It's just a mic going into the audio interface going into the computer. So in your case, I'm not worried too much about upgrading to Console 2, but other folks who are using more elaborate setups to do, say, a phone patch and a mix minus, some fancy stuff like that, or connecting to an ISDN codec, blah, 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 you may have some growing pains going to Console 2. If you have something like auxiliary sends set up using Console 1 or the old console, they will immediately break when you upgrade to Console 2. So do be careful, and if you're thinking about doing it, consult with a professional. No, we work together. We should talk before you upgrade it. I would highly recommend it because I just want to make sure it doesn't break anything that's in your studio. And if you do upgrade, if I'm available to check to make sure everything's okay, it's a good idea. It's not a completely seamless upgrade. Sometimes it can break certain functions like the auxiliary sends. I won't go into the nitty-gritty detail as to why. It's way too focused and geeky about one particular topic. But I sent an email out, and I believe it went to you. So if you didn't get it, let me know. I was concerned about people breaking their stuff because I got a few calls from people that did exactly that. So don't quite jump on it just yet. Talk to me first.
That's excellent advice. All righty. Well, apparently Shelly Avellino is going to be our monitor in the chat room tonight. So let me just invite her into that. You all know Shelly, huh? That will probably be the biggest applause of the night. So she's now in there. Okay, so if you only knew the technology that goes into this, I mean, we literally do this with chewing gum, baling wire, 2 cans, and a string, but it seems to work every week.
I got to be honest, right now, I don't fully understand how it's all working.
but it is.
While Dan's talking, I'm thinking it through as to how is Dan hearing me? How is the audio getting? Oh, whatever.
It's working. Who cares?
Everyone in the chat room says it's working, so I'm just gonna keep talking.
All righty. Let's see. Speak pipe question. Do you see that on the show notes?
Oh no, you got to do a speak pipe question. That's going to be really hard to do tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, we can skip it then if you want.
Yeah, let me. No, we have to hold that one off till next week.
Oh, okay.
I'm driving back to LA Sunday night after the WovoCon.
Yeah. Just
basically to do our show on Monday, and then flying out of town to Louisville on Tuesday. So
you're going to Louisville to do that big thing.
And we'll be able to we'll be back to normal on Monday night. We'll be able to catch up on some of these questions, like the speak pipe question. Just being able to play back the audio so that me, Dan, and everybody else can hear it is challenging. So we're not going to do that tonight.
Okay, never mind. I thought I'd throw it in there, but
no, it's okay.
All right. Well, okay. Well, why don't we take a break right now, and we'll come back and we'll chat a little bit more, and then we'll bring in Melissa Moats, and we'll get Jack DeGolia on a little bit, and we'll get everybody's questions in here because we want to answer those questions. So if you have a question right now, it would be a great time to throw it into the chat room or raise your hand, and we'll do a little more Q&A when we come back here on East West Audio Body Shop. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
You You're listening to East West Audio Body Shop.
Are you confused about how to set up and maintain a professional quality voiceover studio? No wonder. The information out there is mostly mythology. This is the best microphone to use. You have to have a preamp. You need a soundproof booth. This software is the best. Your audio must be broadcast quality. Consult with someone who knows the truth. Someone who's been there, in the trenches, doing voiceover for over 30 years. Someone with unparalleled experience with voiceover studios, who's worked with hundreds of voice actors and designed hundreds of personal studios. He knows how to teach and cares about your success. In one of the harshest environments known to voiceover, your home. Dan Leonard, the Home Studio Master. Separate myth from fact and get a handle on your personal voiceover studio. Contact the Home Studio Master at homevoiceoverstudio.com. Drop off a specimen of your dry audio for a free analysis.
Now back to EWABS. Thank Dan and George's wives. For what? You have no idea. Now,
hey guys, this is Tom, also known as the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, and you want to fill your ear holes and your eye holes with Dan and George and the East West Audio Body Shop. Ah! Meow! Snails like it too.
Hey, this is Roger Leopardi, and you're watching East West Audio Body Shop.
One. We're back.
So now you're given that countdown. You don't give the 1, you give 5, 4, 3.
Oh,
And that's
I know.
how you do it.
That's the way they do it in real TV. I know.
This being virtual TV. Interesting to note. Guess what? We sold the house here in Buffalo.
Congratulations.
Less than 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah, got the asking price, cash. Can't beat it. Yeah, so a little bit of mold in the attic, but everybody's house in Buffalo has mold in the attic. After that winter, it's like ice crystals just crawling into the house. And of course, they go in the attic. The inspector's like looking at the house, and he's like, "What's this big vent you've got up there above that other bedroom?" Which, of course, is my vent from the booth back here. So, where do you see this thing? I'm going to bring it out to LA with me. It's an HP printer box lined with Oralex and all sorts of stuff, but it's like a magnificent little damper for the ventilation system. And this guy's like, "Is that like the bathroom vent? What is that?"
Yeah, that thing is really, really creative.
Yeah, and it's worked very well.
I've got a ventilation unit in the back of my car right now as well. It's from one of the Scott Peterson booths.
Yes.
He has someone out here, D. Drenta, actually, who has one of his booths. And when he had built it, he trucked it out here and left a piece behind. He left behind a shelf. So I brought a shelf with me, and I also have a ventilator unit that's really cool. It's got a big PC whisper fan, and then it goes through a serpentine inside. So it's like a wooden carpeted version of your HP box.
Yeah, well,
Nice
where do you see this thing? It's as I described it to Eric Smith, who's the president of Orlax. I said it's an HP printer box with like ceiling tile that is nailed and screwed in, lined with Orlax, and then it's just wrapped up with a shitload of duct tape. And he was very impressed. That is a actual technical term, and when you see this thing, you'll go, "Yeah, that is a shitload of duct tape." Anyway. I'm glad we're not on a network. Anyway, by the way, we've got a new Mugman cartoon tonight that we'll show at the end. So Jacob has been busy with Mugman as well, and was accepted to Exceptional Minds in Sherman Oaks. So he's going to be studying animation with the big time pros, which is really, really cool.
That's huge.
Yeah, and we actually got an email today from Frederator Productions, the guys who make the Fairly Odd Parents and a few other things. They've got this great network thing. They're trying to develop young talent and they have the YouTube channels and a YouTube network, and they are encouraging people to do it. And they saw Mugman, and they're like, "We want to talk to you."
Far out.
So it's like really, really cool.
Good for him.
Yeah. So he's gonna have a future in LA. What happens to me out there, God only knows.
You're the last person you're thinking about, aren't you?
Yeah, of course. Anyway,
that's not being a dad.
Yeah, well, I think it's great that he's able to do that. Anyway, we've got. Do we have any questions from the studio audience right now about home studios or anything that anything you want to know about about George and I or how we do this show or something?
Yeah, anything at all. Yeah, you guys can stand up in place and I'll
step up to the mic,
camera, and yeah.
Give us your name, your location, your social security number, and
all right. My name's Chad Letts from
Chad,
Las Vegas, local here. About 7 months ago, George came out to Vegas. I don't remember why you were in town, but he came out to a house that I was building, and we kind of talked about specs for converting a walk-in closet into a soundproof booth. I'm about halfway through that build because I couldn't find anybody no contractors would touch it. So I'm doing it myself. We're dropping the ceiling down about 12 inches because above me is a bunch of insulation. The crawl space is too small to get up there.
Oh.
You were just talking about putting an HP printer box with a shitload of duct tape. I wanted to do something a little bit more permanent. I got about 12 inches or so that I can mess with. What's the best way to get a return into that booth so that the booth doesn't pressurize and it'll actually keep it relatively comfortable when it's 120 degrees here in Vegas?
Whew, man, we're starting off with a doozy.
Yeah, well, let's break this one down. First part of that question
is basically what's the best way to build an exhaust with about a 12-inch crawl space, basically.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, here's what I did. I've got I'm telling you, the HP box with the shitload of duct tape. You can't beat it. It was magnificent how it worked. But you have to build what's called a plenum, where you've got certain baffles, and then you line it with sound absorbing material, and then you have a long exhaust tail that goes out, and you sort of serpentine it because you want the sound of the fan. If you have an exhaust fan, because in mine it's drawing out. So it's actually the sound of the air itself, not the fan, that causes a lot of the noise. And that's why you have to build this plenum so it diffuses the sound of the fan. A muffler, yeah. It's essentially, that's what it is. It's a muffler.
So how much of that do I need? Should it be like 12 inches long? Should it be 24 inches long? How many times back and forth do I need to put returns in there?
You really only need to put up, down, and around.
6, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
4 turns or 6 turns. 1 turn, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, if that, maybe.
Yeah,
we have plans on how to build them. I've got a sheet of it around here somewhere that shows exactly how to build it. And you can make it different sizes. But the fun part about this is you can experiment and use an HP printer box. And if it doesn't work, go use another HP printer box.
Is this something you have to seal? Is this something you have to seal up in the ceiling?
Once it's up there, it's pretty much up there.
You said it's a 12-inch crawl space?
Yeah, it's not really a crawl space.
It's just a cavity between.
It's just a cavity between the drywall that's up there. We dropped, and we've put, just 2x4s going this way. We're going to have resilient channels going the other way.
Right.
Double drywall with green glue in the middle. So whatever's up there, once we put the drywall up there, it's pretty much not coming down again.
Gotcha.
Okay. Well, you can.
You already have an air feed coming in.
Yes.
You're just trying to let the air. You're just trying to figure out a way to let the air exhaust.
Correct.
This is all about the return.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So if there's no fan unit on the return in that case, right? Because you already have air pressure coming in from the HVAC.
Correct.
All right. So I don't like have like a mathematical answer. Oh, then it would be exactly 6 turns. I don't. But if you were to build like a plywood box that's maybe 8 inches tall, so that you can fit it up into that space, do you have to slide it up through the joists, or how do you get it? How are you going to get it up there?
We'll get it up there, through the joists, and then we'll rotate it, and then we'll put the resilient channels up top. So there's about a 5.5 foot long space that I can go up, and then I'll just be able to turn it, and it'll sit on.
So it has to be narrow enough to fit between the joists.
Yeah, that's it. But that's however
to get it up
18
there,
inches or 16 inches between studs.
All right, so it has to be narrower than that.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a long box that you're gonna slip up through the studs, then turn it sideways, rest it on the joists.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That was the plan, at least.
We're gonna have to crawl in there, little Chad, and see what the heck's going on and make some recommendations.
I mean, it's a tight squeeze. So yeah, you got to build it so that it can fit into the cavity and then slide in. Yeah, I would say I would make the box, since it's only going to be 14 inches wide or something. I would have maybe like 4 or 5 dividers of plywood that creates this serpentine, and glue acoustical foam or any kind of foam on the inside of this whole thing, so the air is being slowed down and diffused by the foam. And then turn on my camera so they can see my hand gestures. And so the air is going to travel through this labyrinth and kind of I would have it make like 6 turns, and make the box as long as it needs to be. And I would, if the box is 8 inches tall, then have the channel that the air channels through the box about 8 inches wide, so that the air isn't being restricted. If it has to squeeze through small openings, then that can create turbulence, and it could make more noise, or you won't get as much airflow. So I'd make it as long as it needs to be to make those, let's say 6 turns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so if that might be 2, 3, it might be 3 feet long.
Right.
But you want to lay it out on the floor, maybe mock it up with cardboard or draw it out so you can kind of plan it out how you're going to build it.
Mm.
I've never built one quite like it. I've never built one myself, actually. I've never had to. So there's a man though that may have.
I have a comment.
Awesome.
Yeah, it seems to me that the noise contribution is likely to come from the air entering.
More so. Yeah.
More than the air exiting. Once it's past the hole it's exiting, it's not going to contribute much to the noise in the booth. But the baffling becomes important because the booth is now communicating with the outside world.
Right.
So you're baffling to prevent the ingress of noise back through your exit,
Yes.
through your return.
That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the idea. Right. So where does it exhausting to? Directly to the outside of the house or just into the crawl space?
It'll exhaust into the room where my equipment is. So the walk-in closet is just for recording. So it'll exit into a room that's
so into a larger
quiet.
room that's inside the house.
Correct.
So okay. So the baffles probably may be more than necessary.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe keep it simple and just have like 1, 2 turnarounds, and that's probably all you really need to do.
Yeah.
Okay.
That might even be overkill, but that way, if somebody walks into the outside room and says something, their voice won't get piped right into the booth like an old boat and they talk into the that thing.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
I hope that helps. Any other questions? Do we have time for more, Dan?
No, I think it's time to take a break, actually.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Yeah. No problem at all. That was bordering on consultation time there.
Yeah, that was a challenging one, but
yeah. Anyway, so let's see here. So we're going to go to a break. So we need to talk about about Harlan Hogan.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we?
Yeah.
So the Q&A and all that stuff we're going to shift to after the break.
Yeah, we'll do a little bit more of that. But
Okay,
if we're going to talk about Harlan Hogan, we need to get Jack DeGolia up there.
Okay.
So Jack, get up in front of the camera here.
Oh, right here in the spot.
Right. Yeah, either there or yeah, that's good. Okay.
Perfect.
And look into the camera.
There.
I've been waiting all day just to see that face.
Yeah. First time on camera.
Oh yeah, I can tell. Anyway, we're going to talk a little bit about our good friend Harlan Hogan, who has the best voiceover online shop there is, because there aren't a whole heck of a lot of other ones, which is what makes his so great, because he's taken the time to do that, and he has some great products. And Jack, you were telling us that you use every last bit of stuff that he has on that website, don't you?
Well, not quite, but he had some sales at Christmas, and I took advantage of those. And this hat is my my voiceover hat. But the main thing I wanted to tell you is that recording sign of his has literally saved my marriage. Because when I'm in the den doing my editing, I can turn on the red light, and my wife knows that I've got the headphones on and can't hear her. So we don't get into this, what? What'd you say?
Yes.
And you take them off. No, never mind. You've got the headphones on. Yeah. And then you go back, and it makes tension that you don't need. So the sign is great.
So it's a marriage-saving device.
Absolutely. Marriage-saving device. And then I've got the VO1A. I've got the metal mesh pop filter. The headphone hanger. That's a really handy thing. I have
the
that
headphone hanger. We forgot about that one.
It hangs off a little mic stand. You just put your headphones there. It keeps them out of the way. And in our case, it keeps the cat from chewing on the headphones. It's very important too. So
right.
I also, and the final thing I have is the desktop mic stand, which is adjustable. And because I have a booth set up where I'm standing all the time with a mic in a little crutch that has a.
So there's a little shelf that it sits in, and it sits on that. Yeah.
And I can adjust it to my height.
So in other words, if you need it, you can probably find it at VoiceOver Essentials, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
He's very forgiving on returns.
Yes, he is.
Send it right back. No questions.
Right. But why would you ever want to send any of his stuff back? It's all magnificent. But if by chance something happens, that's something you can do. Jack, thank you for joining us and telling us about that.
Thank you, Harlan.
All righty. That's right. And thanks, Jack DeGolia. We'll talk a little bit more with Jack in a couple of minutes, but right now we're going to take another quick break, and we're running a spot, right?
Yeah, we'll run the Edge spot.
Okay, so we'll be right back after this word from Edge Studios. Stay where you are.
Learning never ends.
You continue to grow.
Edge Studio has grown. Pursue multiple disciplines in tandem and grow your career. We've added new courses in a new curriculum.
We pick the best coaches from the community of working voice actors.
A new technology division, engineering and consulting, led by George Whittam.
Follow your dream.
Sign up for advanced learning or register for an introduction to voice acting or foundation studies program.
See it all now
at thenewedgestudio.com.
VO Studio Tech. Recording made simple.
Hi, I'm Peter McHugh.
This is Jim Tasker from Los Angeles, California.
Hi, this is Bill Ratner in Los Angeles.
Hi, this is Scott Rummel here in Yorba Linda, California.
Hi, my name is Rick Wasserman.
Hi, this is Tom Kane.
Hi, my name is Vanessa Marshall.
Hi, my name is Zurich.
Hi, I'm Mary McKittrick.
Randy Thomas chiming in.
Hi, this is Joe Szymanski.
Hey, this is Rick Robles.
Hi, my name is John Patrick Armstrong.
I was turned on to George by none other than Don LaFontaine, who always swore by his health.
George is absolutely awesome.
ISDN, Source Connect, Phone Patch, FTP, you name it, George has set it up.
It's really the best thing I've ever done for myself. I feel free, safe, fearless, like anything is possible in here.
Unless you like to look for opportunities to waste time, call George.
And he did all of that, long distance over the phone and the internet.
I'm very happy with George, and I cherish him.
Thanks, George. You make it easy.
Now back to EWABS with Dan and George.
No, it's George and Dan.
No, it's not. It's Dan and George.
George and Dan.
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 George and Dan.
Dan and George.
George and Dan.
Dan and George.
George and Dan. Dan and George.
All right, we're back here on East West Audio Body Shop. Joining us from the Vegas Voicers and the Voice Actors Studio in Henderson, Nevada. Or is it Nevada? Nevada, right?
Get that right.
Courvoisier's going to kill me now. Where is Dave? Oh, he's on the news, isn't he?
Yeah, he's kind of working.
Yeah, he's doing. He has some other gig that he does every day, or for a couple hours. We miss Dave. We love Dave. We haven't. He's always one of our favorite people on the show, and he was the announcer for the opening bumper for 3 years.
I know.
Yeah, but each one of you in the audience there in the Vegas Voicers, you've got to take a shot at it. Why are you guys not? Why have you not recorded an EWABS opening? We give you this opportunity. Take it.
Next workout, we'll all.
There you go. All right. Well, why don't we bring up the leader of this fine crew, who's been the establishment of the Vegas Voicers and this great studio. Let's bring in Melissa Moats. Okay.
Hello.
There she is. Lovely Melissa Moats. We met last year at WovoCon, and you're an impressive young lady.
Well, thank you.
And so tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally, and how'd you get into the voiceover business?
Well, I grew up in Chicago.
Yeah.
I grew up in the Midwest, right outside of the Chicago suburbs. And my background is singing. I used to sing on cruise ships, and I was a cruise director, and I always wanted to do commercials. So after I moved to Vegas, after I got married in 1999, we moved out to Vegas, and it was something I always wanted to do, was to study voiceover. So I took a workshop, and the rest is history. I've been voicing for about 15 years now, and I love it. I love it.
I would say that the cruise directing thing was probably one of the best training things you could have for doing that kind of stuff. You know, you were a cruise director. I mean, that must have been a lot of fun and a lot of work.
It was a lot of fun, a lot of work. Everybody always wanted to call me Julie McCoy, and it's fine. I actually answered to Julie because I got so used to it. But I grew up watching The Love Boat, and it was kind of a secret dream of mine. So it's weird. But yeah, it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's always fun going on a cruise, especially when you get to watch some of the shows there. And I remember one night my wife and I were on a cruise, and we're watching some review show, and clearly we're like, apparently the beverage management team was in charge of choreographing this one tonight. But it's great times on those.
Yeah.
So now you're in Vegas, and now you're doing voice work. And what kind of stuff you've been working on?
Well, I mostly do commercial voiceover. I love to sell stuff. So, and I'm the voice of Ashley Furniture right now, which is pretty exciting. That kicked off in the beginning of the year for me. So that's really cool. I've been selling a lot of furniture for a couple of months, and it's going well. And I also am the voice of Best Western Hotels. So that's you guys are awesome.
Always nice to get the cookie when you register there. That's kind of nice. Yeah. So those are great clients. I mean, and how often do you do stuff for them? Is it like, I know Ashley Furniture is like once a month or?
Actually, they've been really keeping me busy. About twice a week, I do about like 2-hour sessions with them. I'm selling a lot of furniture.
Good.
So, but it's a really great client. They're awesome to work with, a lot of fun. I drink a whole lot of coffee before those sessions, let me tell you, and they have me read really fast, but it's been awesome. I've been really enjoying it.
Wow. I see those spots. Are those the ones where everybody's dancing all the time? Maybe that's another event. Maybe that's another furniture store.
They're dancing. Are they dancing? I haven't seen anybody dancing, but maybe are doing that. I'll mention that in the next session.
All right, let's see. Let's see the video. Okay. Anyway, so now you're in Vegas, and you've established this fine crew of people who are joining us live in the studio tonight, and a beautiful studio it is. Tell us a little bit about how you started this.
Oh my gosh. I just have to first say how much I love these people. I mean, I adore them. They're my voiceover family, and I am just so honored to be a part of this group myself. So I just have to tell you guys how much I love you. And I started it, I was living in LA for a couple of years, and LA. That was a lot going on over there. So my husband and I decided to move back to Vegas, and there are so many awesome workout groups in LA. I loved that. There was such a great scene for getting people together. And when my husband and I moved back to Vegas, I thought, wow, we have such a huge community of talent here. There's so many talented people, and there's no workout group happening. So I kind of just thought I would kick it off. I went on meetup.com. Great way to do it. And I just went ahead and said professional voiceover group kind of a thing. And the first time 2 people showed up, Alex MacDonald, and yes, and love him. He was super enthused. And Daniel Dorse, he's not here tonight, but he showed up. And the first time we just thought, wow, this is really fun. This is cool. There's 3 of us. This is awesome. The next thing I knew, literally within a few months, we had about 10. Then we had about 15. I think in the maybe 6 months ago, the biggest one we ever had at my house, there were 36 people in my living room.
Wow.
And I don't have a very big house. My living room just was jam-packed with voiceover people because George was here and he was our special guest. So yeah, George packs them in, let me tell you. So everybody came out and got out of their jammies that day and decided to come and have some fun and work out. But really, it's been incredible how much it's grown in 5 years. So much so that my husband and I decided to open up a studio, an actual commercial location. And we're loving it. We're still getting settled, but it's so cool. Hi, honey. That's my husband taking my picture right now.
Yeah, I see him there in the audience shot. We got to get. Yeah, are you switching cameras there a lot, George? So we can.
I am.
Okay, good. So we actually never watch this show. We just show up and.
I know.
We never know what's going on. We watch it the next day and go, "Is that what happened?" Right now,
I feel like I'm on Mars and the broadcast is happening on Earth.
Yeah,
that's what this is like for me. This is out of this world.
That's the way it is for me too, actually.
Isn't there like a Mars themed hotel there in Vegas somewhere? Or there must be. It's got every other thing. Planet Hollywood. There you go.
And close enough.
There needs to be a Martian theme hotel.
I know.
Casino.
We'll get on that.
Little lack of reference for that, though. Although they could move it into the Venetian, and they could use the same canals.
Perfect.
There you go. Anyway, so starting a meetup group is a really cool thing to do. We did it here in Buffalo. We have Heard Around Buffalo. We don't have nearly as many members as you Vegas Voicer guys do, but Vegas is a big place. And what are you guys getting out of having these meetup groups? What are some of the things you guys do?
Oh my goodness. Well, I can start answering that question, but if you guys want to add to it,
feel free to jump in, guys.
Well, a huge thing is obviously working on our chops and offering up constructive, helpful feedback, which that's a huge part of what we do. But we also have a lot of special guests via Skype, or sometimes people come in person. We've had different agents on, we've had different producers on, some other people we've had. Oh yeah, Dave from Edge Studios. That was awesome.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, and we've had so many amazing people be guests and share with us and do Q&As with us. What are some other things we do, guys? Alex,
hey, I've got a story to share.
Do tell.
They're workouts and they're workouts, but here's a unique story. I think early on in Vegas Voicers, by the time we had about a dozen people or so, we show up one night and Melissa says, I have an audition that's looking for more than one voice at a time. How would you guys like to audition? We pulled the microphone out of the booth, aimed it at the crowd, did the audition, booked it. Who's ever booked a job in a workout group in real time? And we split the fee.
Outstanding.
Amazing.
Pretty amazing. That was early on. And since then, it's gone down.
It's all downhill from there. No, but I forgot all about that. That was so fun. Yeah. What else do we do, you guys? Besides have a lot of fun. We share personal experiences. I mean, sometimes we have an issue or, home studio issue or a quoting question or, maybe one of us got hung up on an audition that had really weird specs. I mean, that never happens.
Yeah,
ever.
never.
So sometimes we'll share that, like we'll help each other out. We'll have them do a read for us and we'll all try to crack the code and figure out what to offer up to help. but it's really about community and helping each other and just supporting one another, because we're all at home, we're all isolated, working and doing the best that we can. But it's good to get out of our booths and come together and just share, help, support, cheer, and literally, I am not exaggerating when I say we're really like a voiceover family here. We're all really a really important part of each other's lives. It's really cool. So I get a little sentimental about that every time.
You're a little verklempt.
But it's neat. Oh, Ian.
I'm Ian, otherwise known as Duncan White, and I didn't get started in voiceover until about 3.5 years ago. Really wanted to do it most of my life, and just dumb luck happened to meet the lovely Melissa and Troy at a social event, and they've just steered me in the right direction. And this group has literally been invaluable to me. I find it hard to keep myself motivated, but it's impossible to not be motivated around this crowd. And somehow Melissa has just pulled everybody in. It's like,
are you from Australia?
It's coming from the Canadian at the back of the room.
So somebody's mentioning something about Chad's screw sleeve or something like that.
Oh, yeah. That was funny.
Do tell, Chad.
There was a medical narration, and who was it? Amy Ferris? I don't know what she said.
I think it was Amy Ferris.
It was Amy Ferris.
Yeah.
I couldn't get it out of, because it was medical narration, the Save Lock screw sleeve. And I was having a lot of trouble because there was a lot of medical jargon in it. And I started doing it in the workout, and she started giggling, and I was like, what? And she's like, you said screw sleeve. And I lost that, but I ended up booking it, and it was the hardest session of my life because I wanted to laugh through the entire thing.
Because we laughed the entire time
and
at the
all
workout.
I heard was everybody's comments throughout that entire thing. But it's good practice because you still have to focus when you're in those moments. So that was we got plenty of stories, Dan. We could be here all night.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's the great thing about a meetup group is, especially if you've got a great crew and a fine facility to meet in and stuff like that, where you can really do workouts and things like that. And I'm really impressed that you used meetup.com, which we use too here in Buffalo. Yeah. It's a great resource. If you want to start a meetup group in your town, that's probably a really good way to get in there and keep yourself organized and communicate with each other and stuff like that.
Definitely. Meetup's a great tool for that, and social media and stuff too. Reaching out and finding out, you'll easily find other voiceover actors in your town if you're digging a little bit. Do some Google searches and stuff. But we're doing other things here too. I mean, we've got our awesome workout group that we get together a couple times a month. But I wanted to take it to the next level also by creating a platform in Vegas, because so many people love to come to Las Vegas. We're about 10 minutes southeast of the Strip, where our studio is located. But so many voiceover experts and voiceover coaches come to Las Vegas to teach amazing workshops. And we wanted to create a great facility for voiceover, professionals, experts, and coaches to be able to come and teach, because I was hearing that a lot of coaches were teaching in hotel rooms. And I thought, that's cool, but creepy. But I thought, if you know the coach, cool. But somebody on the Strip's like, I teach voiceover. Come on up to my room. No, it's Vegas. Things happen here.
Yeah,
we decided it'd be really cool to start a place not only for our huge ever-growing voiceover community here, but to help other coaches across the country have a place to come and do their thing in a nice facility.
Yeah. Now we've got a question here from Shelly, who you all know.
We love you so much.
Yeah. Girl. She says she's got a question for Melissa and all the pros in Vegas. What advice would you give people for those slower moments? How do you keep motivation up and make the most of the time when you actually have it?
Yeah. Well, coffee.
Yeah, coffee. Yeah.
I think actually having some slow time is a great time to get yourself motivated and really, really attack your marketing efforts and use the time wisely instead of getting freaked out by having a quiet time. Take that time and pick up the phone, do all those emails, do a nice shout out to all of your existing clients. I always love to like at least once a quarter write to my clients and say, hey, they know why I'm writing, but I keep it really brief and say something like, happy spring. Hope you're having a great spring and you've thought out and keep me in mind for your next project, something like that. And they're happy to hear from me, and that'll help generate some work really quickly. Just people remembering you coming across their email, a lot of times will stimulate new work. So that I would just say use the time and just dig deep on some marketing efforts and shouting out to your existing clients and your existing database. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to
go for it?
Say, I'm scared. No.
Hi, Shelley. It's Troy. Remember the last time I told you I gave you an answer to this? My answer is the same.
That seemed very top secret.
Very inside.
We missed something there, but
that was the idea.
Okay.
Yeah, well, got this private dialogue going on. No. Anybody else have any marketing tips they want to share from our super smart group? Everybody's
no, they're all keeping it a secret. We're not giving away our secrets here.
I'm not going to share with you. How are they going to get an edge if they share all that with you?
That's true. Take advantage of your slow time, though, for real. When things quiet down a minute, it's a good time to get organized, and it's a good time to don't let it scare you. Just take charge of that time for real.
Yeah. And Shelley had one other question for you, Melissa. What's your secret to keeping happy clients and most of all, keep them coming back?
Well, I would say my secret would be really, really easy to work with and be available. I think those are the two biggest things that I've heard from producers over the last decade or more is they say that I'm extremely easy to work with. I always have a really positive attitude. I know you guys are so shocked out there, but, and that I'm game. I'm a team player. Whatever they need, I'm always really upbeat about whatever they need, and I make myself available all the time. People know that I'm a go-to shortlist talent, that if they need me today, they need me in an hour, I'll come through for them. And I really pride myself on that because being available is hugely important to clients. But be easy to work with. And then when you get on the line and you're doing a gig with them, do a great job. Just follow through, do everything you say you're going to do and more, and really exceed what they expect. That's what I'd say.
Works for me. Absolutely. All righty. Well, now Shelley has another question. All right, that's enough questions, Shelley, just because you happen to be in the chat room.
Shelley is a Vegas voicer at heart.
Yeah, she is.
She moved to New Mexico, but she's still with us. She's a Vegas voicer all the way.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Melissa, thanks so much for being with us and inviting us into this magnificent studio. We'll probably talk a little bit more about that as well. We've got Jack DeGolia coming up in just a couple of minutes here too. So we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back after this.
Yeah.
Hey, Dad, I know you're watching EWABS on YouTube, but...
Hey, no problem. What's up?
He's here again, and he looks hungry.
Really? Okay.
Hello!
Are you hungry for something in particular?
Banana!
Well, how about an apple? I have one right here.
Banana! Mookie Biggie Baka!
Dave, don't be disrespectful.
Okay.
Would you please go to the kitchen and see if you can find him a banana or at least something banana flavored?
Okay, Dad. Okay.
I wonder why he doesn't like green apples. Minions. Now back to George and Dan on
VoiceOver Extra, the voiceover industry's online news, education, and resource center 24/7. Hundreds, probably thousands of free how-to articles for voiceover success, ranging from home studio to voice acting to business. A free voiceover industry directory, calendar of industry events, resource links, a store, and much more. Bi-monthly webinars on all topics of voiceover, free subscriptions to newsletters, reports, announcements, daily news, and features at voiceoverextra.com.
And now back to the only webcast done with 2 cans, 2 geeks, and a string. East West Audio Body Shop with George Whittam on his end in the West and Dan Leonard in the...
Whoa, 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 whoa.
All righty, we're back here on East West Audio Body Shop, episode number 184. George and I are... We're rolling into our 5th year of doing this, which is unbelievable. Because I remember, Ella was in diapers when we started this.
It's true.
I wasn't far behind, to tell you the truth, but the first time we went on. But one of the people that's been with us, you're there. One of the people that's been with us and helping us out immensely by doing the show notes, we got to ask him about that, is a member of the Vegas Voicers. You saw him a little bit earlier. But he's a great guy, and he's been very dedicated to our cause here at East West Audio Body Shop. Let's welcome the one and only Jack DeGolia.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show, Jack. Finally, nice to have you on here.
Thank you. I'll have to take notes on myself now.
Yeah, well, maybe I can do that for right now. And all right. Looked silly in the camera. Then he did.
Okay.
All right.
Did you take notes before you came on? So you know what you're going to talk about?
No, I don't know what I'm going to talk about.
Okay. Well, we don't know what we're going to talk about either.
Should I tell how that started?
Well, do tell.
I'm discovering, though, that a lot of people don't even know that the show notes are there. I got blank looks from this group this afternoon. The what? So when you go to YouTube, look down in the comment section underneath each show's video, and you'll see a comment from me that expands into chronological notes about the show. And there'll be a time next to each of the major sections. And you click on that time, and YouTube will then start the video at that point. And then George has put these show logs up on the EWABS website. You go to the EWABS.com, and up in the upper right, it says show logs. You click there.
Right underneath where it says Hire George.
Yeah. And you can then see the logs for shows going back to about show number 80. That's kind of when I started doing this, but it really wasn't for you guys at first. Melissa infuses us with something she didn't really talk about too much, but she gives us this idea that we should share and that it's all a big positive thing. And it's not made up. I mean, that's the way she's wired. So I picked up on this virus she had and thought, yeah, I should share. And so I was watching EWABS and other folks weren't. So I was just making notes on one of the big broad topics that you guys were covering. And I was sharing those on the Facebook page. And at one point I thought, I wonder if George and Dan would be interested. And I wrote to you guys and said, you interested? And you said, yeah. So here I am. Next thing I knew, I'm on the staff and with all that entails. But now I get to watch the show every week with a purpose. It's really great.
Yeah, and we really appreciate it. So, guys, if you really want to know what's happening, just click on the show notes underneath where it says show notes, or in the YouTube channel if you're watching the replay, and you'll see you'll see Jack's fine work there. I mean, it's very, very detailed, and we really, really appreciate it. And it's been a big help when we're trying to especially when we're doing the end of the year show. We're trying to find the best of, because that's where all the timing is. And that helps us a whole lot too. So it helps us and it helps the viewing audience. So we really appreciate it. But tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into voiceover. You've had a fascinating career, haven't you?
Well, I have a checkered past. Yeah. I started out as a drama student at UC Davis back in the 70s. And one of the first things I did there was the James Joyce Liquid Memorial Theater, where I played the role of a person who was naked from the waist up, covered with talcum powder. And as the guests came in, I was a hugger, and I would hug these guests, and they drifted through a number of other places where people were feeding them pineapple and other stuff. And then they ended up in a big area with an inflatable parachute, and then there was a rock concert. And that was art.
And now it's Cirque du Soleil.
I really wasn't sure that was my kind of art. And then there was another one where we watched a movie of a guy who was also naked except for his underwear, and he was in the corner blindfolded, unwrapping a fish. And that took about a half an hour. And then he felt the fish for about 20 minutes and then he wrapped it up again. That was the art professor thought that was wonderful. And I didn't. And so I
fired.
I got my degree, but I drifted into natural resources and I started working as a firefighter for the National Park Service and then a park ranger. And then I was a public information officer for about 20 years in Montana. But I kept theater in the back of my mind and I did community theater and they used me at the local college in Montana where I live because I would show up and have my lines memorized. And that was like news for the college kids that, oh, we're supposed to do that. So when I moved to Vegas, I'm here because I met my wife online and she happened to be living in Vegas. I was in a little town in Dillon, Montana. And I thought, Vegas, that's like millions of miles from here. I'll never go to Vegas. But thanks to Allegiant Air, we got together. And so I moved to Vegas in 2009. And I was looking through the UNLV catalog, and there's a voiceover class. Voiceover, right? No costume, no makeup, no
talcum powder.
Yeah. And so I took the class.
And you can be naked.
In the summer, you need to be naked. So,
especially in Vegas.
Yeah, especially in Vegas. So I did that for a while, and then I almost was at the point of giving up on it. And then I ran into Alex MacDonald, who told me about this very positive voiceover coach in Henderson. Good, it's closer to home. And I came over here and literally, Melissa doesn't know this, but she saved my career because I wouldn't have kept doing this if it hadn't been. Should we wait for the?
Yeah, I don't know. He's having conniptions over there.
Allergic to the air. He doesn't know what's. My wife studies what's in the air. We don't want to say that. Yeah. Anyway, Melissa saved my career, and so I've been doing voiceover in especially audiobooks and e-learning for the last couple of years. Pretty intense. So that's where I am.
I'm just going to try to sneak out and cough outside, but I can't.
Yeah.
I have to walk through the camera.
So, Dan, what do you want to talk about now that George is gone?
Yeah. we can talk about George.
Okay.
So what kind of stuff have you been working on? I mean, you've saved your career. What have you been chewing on?
Well, I've got about 40 audiobooks so far, mostly at ACX. I'm done a couple series in the mystery genre that I really like. I did have an interesting book recently in nonfiction that was kind of difficult. The author did a lot of repetitive stuff, but I survived. But mainly got a good relationship with the author's agent. So I'm looking forward to picking up more work with her. And that little gem of a thought, make friends all the time, comes from my fearless leader here, Melissa. And then lately I've been getting into e-learning, long-term e-learning contracts through elearningvoices.com and other sources.
Yeah. So you're hustling it and you're making it happen.
I'm making it happen. Yes, sir. Alex MacDonald has a question.
Hey, Jack, isn't one of your books up for an award?
Oh, yeah. I was one of 9 narrators on a book called Gadzooks. Abby Elvidge, who's another Vegas voicer, was part of that. And the book is up for an Audie for original work. It was. So I play a character in a polygamous community who's the county attorney who has this secret thing for carpeting.
I'm halfway laughing and halfway coughing. Okay,
George,
go on.
Thank you, sir. Anyway, my character has this thing about carpeting. He's likes to get rolled up in it and stuff. It's give a listen to Gadzooks. Gadzooks. Yeah. And that was produced in St. George, which is about 2 hours up the road. So Abby and I went up there at different times to produce that book. Interesting process, by the way.
Yeah. What's your process to doing an audiobook? I mean, do you read, are you a cold reader or do you read the whole thing first?
I'm a cold reader and I'll skim it throughout the book just to see characters and who comes and goes. And, frankly, the more they pay me, the more I'll read it. It's a dirty little secret, but royalty share, they get what they pay for, right? And
absolutely.
Pay for anything. So I don't want to do a bad job, but I also need to keep the business sense going here. And I'm not going to spend hundreds of hours on a book that is completely speculative, but I do my best. And I think I do pretty well. I got into trouble once when I picked a character voicing that was kind of rough like that. And I thought, oh, this guy's just a one-line wonder, no problem. And then 2 books later, he had a whole chapter, and it killed me. So,
Start sounding like George.
Yeah, I got to talk like this the whole time. And then I was out of commission for the rest of the week after that. So
that's a tough lesson, huh?
Yeah, very tough lesson. So choosing the character voice is critical, and you got to read enough of the book to figure out, okay, is this guy around a lot? What's his background? What do people think about him? And Melissa thought I knew enough to teach a workshop on character voices. Silly her, huh? But I did one of those, and so that's kind of a little shtick I do is character voicing.
Yeah. Now I hear something about when one of Shelley was telling us that you were actually a breath double in her first audiobook.
I'm Shelley's breath double. Yes.
How exactly do you do breath double?
One thing you need to understand about Shelley, and I'm going to do this because she's not here. Shelley is the model for jumping in and learning how to swim later. She was in voiceover, 10 minutes? Yeah. And okay, I'll do an audiobook. And she calls me and says, hey, they want me to master this. What's that mean? What do you mean? What's that mean? And she's already done with the book. So I said, come over to my house. I've got an effect stack from George Whittam. What's an effect stack? Shelley, come over. So I used my effect stack. And at one point we had a breath that she had made that was too loud or had a click in it or something. And we didn't know what to do with it. So I said, Shelley, I've got breaths. I can just put it in. So I'm a breath in the middle of her story.
Stunt breath.
And I'm her breath double. So if anybody needs to breathe and you just send me an email, I'll send you a breath. Or a T or a P, final consonants. I got a ton of those.
It's good to have an extra library. I'm heading over to Audible right now and get that book because I got to hear that breath. It'll be worth
and actually, George has helped me. He did a second edition of my effect stack, so I don't need the final consonants so much anymore. Thanks, George.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it saved me a ton of work trying to fix all those P's and T's that were disappearing.
Absolutely. Well, Jack, thanks so Yeah, really. Thanks so much for all the great work you're doing. Yes, I'm like right over your shoulder there. You can see.
I see it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, let me take a picture.
Okay, you get a picture there.
Yeah. And if I'm lucky, I won't short out the monitor. This is really silly. Yeah, come on over. 3.
Awesome.
Yeah. Isn't this a fun business? Where else could you do this? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being with us, Jack.
Happy to help. You guys do wonderful.
Tremendous help to the production of this show, and you're helping making it happen, and we really appreciate it. And we appreciate all your support that you've been giving us.
Thank you,
Jack DeGolia, everybody. No longer a camera virgin. All right. So what do we got? What's that? Say that? Say again.
Who else would you like to say hello to?
Who else would I like to say hello to? Well, let's
say
see.
hi to Mike Martin, my co-pilot.
Yes.
Mike, come on up here, man. Come up here and have a seat. Sit down. So if you guys remember, I put the word out on the EWABS group on Friday afternoon. Total long shot. I thought it turned out my buddy Lee Pinney wasn't going to be able to be at NAB, and he's been my camera guy for the NAM show. He was great, and I didn't want to do the selfie thing at the NAB. I just thought it's NAB. This is the North American Broadcasters Conference, and I'm going to get a media badge, and I'm going to walk around with a selfie stick.
You won't be alone.
Yeah, I put So I put the word out there, and thank goodness for this gentleman sitting over here. Within an hour, he stepped up and said, I would love to come to Vegas. I'm going to see if I can get time off work, and I need a vacation. And he stepped up immediately and was like, what can I do for you? How can I help you? make this trip go easily. And he stepped up huge. Mike Martin.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to be able to thank him personally here on the show.
Anytime,
But Mike is a VO Peeps regular. So if you guys aren't aware of, you guys, it's like you guys are like counterparts in a lot of ways. You know, the VO Peeps are the Orange County, California equivalent, if you want to say that, or version of what you guys do. It's a great organization.
Just aspire to learn all I can about your business.
He's here to assimilate. Yes. No, he's working on it. He's in training. He's not just lurking. He's in training, right? So he's getting strong.
Well,
he will be absorbed.
I'm Sponge Mike. Just absorb it all.
Thanks for coming, Mike.
Thank you, sir.
Who else is out there in the audience that I know? Any familiar people there? I think I know most of you guys. I think I met most of you guys.
Dustin Ebaugh is here.
Dustin, stand up. We won't talk to you, but we'll see you. No, Dustin, come on up for a second.
You can pass the mic back to the,
Yeah, really.
Pass on the mic. You don't have to make it.
What, do I have to go in the chair? Or?
No.
Oh, come on up here.
Yeah.
I didn't shave.
That's okay. Neither did I. So
you're wearing your.
Cool. All right.
How is this the camera?
That's the camera. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, Mom.
All right. I'm ready for my close-up.
Oh, okay.
What's up, Leonard?
Hey, I sold the house and I still can't come to WovoCon. What am I going to do?
I know, that's a bummer.
I know. I really wanted to come, but
George is going to be there.
I know. That's why he's already there.
And Uncle Roy and lots of people. About 8. It's going to be fun.
It sounds like it's going to be a great time.
55 last year, so I'm excited.
How many people we got coming this year?
80, 81.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I know every one of them, and it's
you do. I talked to Joyce this morning. She's really excited for her presentation, which is going to kick off the whole thing on Saturday morning.
Good.
Little promo seminar. She's going to talk about. I don't want to spoil it, but there's going to be some really good information. It'll be interactive. People can come up and read some copy, and we'll have the promo beds and stuff like that. So it'll be good.
Good. Yeah. And it'll be, great company and great planning for World Voices, which is, you and I have been through the ringer with this one. We've been working on it for 4 years and 3 years. It's
trying to make us older than we are.
I know. I mean, we've been working together on this stuff for much longer than 4 years, but
that's true. That's true.
But Wovo was a little less time than that. But are you? Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, actually, the Sunday, the 19th of the final day of WovoCon is our 3-year anniversary.
Yep.
Because we were founded April 19th of 2012.
That's right.
Oh, great timing.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Yeah, and
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Great crowd.
And Melissa Moats is going to be doing a session or 2. You're doing 2.
I'm doing 2.
One on how to do a meetup in your city, and the other one is called How to Make Your Clients Love You More, which she's very good at. So,
okay, so how to do a meetup is a pretty short one.
Yeah,
just be Melissa Moats.
Yeah. That's easy.
Perfect modeling there.
She's co-hosting that one with Anthony Gettig, who has done the same thing. He's a friend of the show, right?
Oh,
Anthony?
he's
a friend of the show. Yeah, he helps with our chat room and stuff.
Yeah. He did the same thing in Michigan, so they're gonna come at it from 2 zip codes apparently. Yeah.
Let me ask you something, Dustin, because you and I have had this great experience in putting this organization together. Tell me what you think about the community. Why is it that VoiceOver has created this community? And when I talk to people in other industries, they're like, "You guys do what? Why do you think that it's so successful amongst those of us in the voice business?"
Well, I think that it's a different kind of a person that becomes a voiceover talent or a voice actor. a lot of us have a little bit of an acting background or theater or radio, or, you know, we're used to being in communities. And then when really our work is very solitary, because we get in this booth and we stand there by ourselves and try to do magical things. And so it's I think people like to commune together and chat about things and talk about, you know, challenges they have and successes they have, and really just help each other. And that's what, you know, that was the impetus of it when the four of us came up with the idea for Wovo. Be you, me, Dave Cavassier, Chris Mezzalesta, was really kind of an online support community for voice actors, and it's grown to the point where, gosh, I think we're like 300, almost 370 members.
Wow.
It's, you know,
worldwide.
It's crazy how big, you know, that it was. Has gotten in such a short time. I mean, at first it was like, you know, everybody that signed up, we knew who they were, you know, and then
knew their faces.
Yeah, we're like, okay, we know that guy. And then, you know, when I thought we might be onto something, it was like, okay, well, I don't know that guy, and how did he find out about it? And now there's like 100 people that we don't know, you know, like personally or more. And so it's I think it's resonating with people all over that they want to have a place to talk to each other and help each other and support each other. And, you know, we do that on our Facebook page. And then we have just gotten our new website done about a month ago. We started a mentoring
fabulous.
And thank you. The mentorship program, I think, is going to be a huge thing. And that was at the, you know, the cornerstone of what we had in mind when we decided to do this was, you know, pros teaching other pros and also helping out people that are just getting started and coming up in the voiceover industry. And, you know, it doesn't matter if you're in, you know, Singapore or Dalhart, Texas, or wherever you are, you can plug into the community and be supported.
Canary Islands.
Yeah,
Canary Islands. Yes,
got somebody there.
Yeah, we do. I know we do for a fact. And we have chat, and we're trying to start chapters all over the world. In the UK, we actually have an affiliate chapter in Israel, the Israel Voiceover Association, and
that's right.
And in South America and other parts of Latin America. We're just
Uruguay, yeah. And he's trying to get something going in Sydney. So you know, we're growing. It's awesome. I'm very excited.
It's a great organization, and if you're interested in joining and be ruled by the president of our organization, Mr. Ebaugh here,
you guys are silly.
Yes, you go to worldvo.org and sign up there, because now with this new website that you found, it's real easy, isn't it?
Man, it's like 3 clicks. We used to have all kinds of trouble, but that, you know, when we redid the website, we were like, okay, let's make it as simple as we possibly can, because everyone, especially Dan Leonard, attention span very short.
Very short.
So if they can just click like 3 times and be done, that's better. So that's what we did, and it works.
Well, Dustin, you have been a fabulous president of this organization and watched it grow under your leadership, and we really appreciate all the time and effort you've put into it, and all the time and effort you put into WovoCon.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't have anything going on this week.
No, nothing at all. Oh, how I'd like to be there. But thanks for being with us, and thanks for being my buddy about this, and we'll see you eventually, because when I'm in California, I can drive to Vegas.
You can, and we can drive there.
That's right. Oh, we're going to have a great time. That's right. All righty. Well, do we have another spot we got to run, George?
No, we're all done with the spots.
We're all done with spots? Okay.
Yeah, we can go into announcements if we have any.
We can. Right. Thanks, Dustin.
Oh, you know what? I'm remiss. I don't want to go to announcements yet, because I still wanted to be able to show a little bit about the studio.
Oh, yes.
Troy, do you want to, or Melissa or Troy? Which one of you would like to say a little bit about the space, about what?
Yeah. Just stand there in the middle and point out stuff to us. And what's
Roy,
going
take
on?
the wireless mic and just walk around the room and be natural.
Yeah.
And
Be conversational.
be conversational.
You want me to talking?
Yeah. Tell us why. Well, we already know. We already know why you built the place, but just tell us about some of the features of the space.
Well, what we have here is a little over 1,800 square feet. We're broken up into approximately 5 rooms plus a kitchen and a bathroom. The space that we're in right here is kind of like a classroom, if you would. We have a booth at the back. It's 4 foot by 6 foot with sliding glass doors.
Mm-hmm.
We've got nice fuzzy ceiling, long. Did you see that?
Furry.
Yeah, really. Yeah, furry ceiling and some base straps as well that have fur. The reason we did that, we added the colors and things in here, was to make it less intimidating for people who are just coming into the voiceover world, especially coming into the studio. A lot of times people, they have a mic in front of them, they freeze up. Even people who are talking on mics all the time, like airline captains, sometimes who have been flying for over 30 years, talking to people on a mic, get in front of this mic, and it's kind of scary, right, Captain Dave? You know, you find it's really, really interesting when you put somebody in front of a mic or in a booth. It's pretty fearful, but it's usually after 2 or 3 experiences of doing that, they start becoming comfortable. So what we try to do is create an atmosphere that looks professional and that looks fun and is less intimidating. Other features about this studio, we have a nice reception area. Can't really see that, but when you first come in, again, it's there to set a presence of being professional and fun at the same time. We have a back room that we're currently working on. We've got a nice booth in there. Well, we have a booth that's being designed to be put in there, and that's basically going to be available with features like IPDiddle, you mentioned that, Source Connect Now, and also ISDN. So we're going to have the tools here as well as the training. Another thing that we have back here that George has recreated for his own use is our engineering panel. We took a picture of all the wires in case we do this again.
And the Wall of Fame.
And we have a wall of fame of a lot of people up here. We got Kerbo, we got Dustin, we've got Shelly, we have
Dave Goldberg. Dave Goldberg's on it.
Yeah, Goldberg, he's up here.
Oh, Dave Goldberg, our sponsor.
A lot of people, and this is just going to grow, you know, as the studio grows, which is really, really, really super.
Santa.
And Santa too, yeah. But Santa's skinny now, and he's shaved, so now he's just John. But the thing about this, what we're doing back here, while we have students being coached and stuff in voiceover, we run the engineering from the back, and we're also rotating students back here so that they can get comfortable with learning. We're using Twisted Wave because it's kind of friendly,
very friendly
type of program to use, and it's intuitive. And so not only are they learning how to use their voice, but they're also learning some of the software at the same time. So rather than waiting after whether it takes 6 months or 6 years or something in between to get to that point, they're learning some of these things, so it's not as scary.
Yeah, and the room's flipped around right now. So
we're back
for my
right now.
purposes, we flipped it around. It's usually facing the booth at the other end.
Right. So, is there something else you want to add, Melissa? Oh, well, thank you. Am I done?
You're done.
So we want to support all the voiceover people in our community. If anybody ever has like a random thing where their studio stops working, we'll be their backup. Also, anybody that's traveling to Las Vegas, because Vegas is a fun place to travel to, sometimes it's hard to record in a hotel room or whatever. So we just want everybody to know we're here, and we're here to support the community near and far. So if you're in town and you need a place to record, we got your back.
All right.
So there you go.
I know for a fact that when I make my drive out to California, we're going through Vegas. So I want to stop by and see this place. I love going to Vegas as long as I don't have to go into McCarran. You know, it's sort of like, you know, how many times can you hear that Wheel of Fortune thing before you want to kill somebody? Anyway. All right, I think that's going to wrap things up for tonight. We got a lot of people we got to thank because I don't even know who we've got on next week. Do you have any idea?
No.
Just sit back and relax. It's time for some announcements.
Yeah, but we have no idea who's going to be on next week. So it's going to be a great show, though. I can tell you. I can tell right now.
I'm sure we have somebody booked. I know that our producer Catherine found somebody. I just don't know who it is.
Wasn't Larry Davis going to come on, or isn't that's?
Actually, it might be Larry because he was going to be on this week, and then when I said we're going to do it from Vegas, maybe Larry's on. We know we got Larry Davis coming up soon. Morgan. Who else?
Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Yeah.
AKA Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
More affordable.
Yeah.
Morgan Freeman.
Yes.
Slightly more accessible.
Yes.
Freeman.
We wouldn't want to call him what we were thinking we wanted to call him. But anyway, yeah. So Larry Davis will probably be with us sometime in the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then just as a warning, come summertime, we'll probably take a little bit more time off. And I know we'll be off probably for at least a month while I am making my way out west, because we're taking the land route. Up through Michigan and down through Illinois and across to Minneapolis and South Dakota and stuff like that. But we got to set up the new studio and everything. But we'll have a lot more great people on here. If there's anybody you want to see on the show, like yourself, email us at ewabshop@gmail.com, and we can get you on the show, and you can talk for half an hour and let people know who you are. But we do have a lot of other people lined up for coming up in April and May. Can you believe it's April already?
Nope.
No, it's like 70 degrees, and some of the Christmas trees that were buried in the snow are now starting to reemerge here in Buffalo. People put them out in their driveway, and then snow covered them up, and then suddenly, oh, there it is.
I know we put that Christmas tree somewhere.
Yes. Anyway, make sure you're here next week. Thanks to our donors of the week. Of course, the amazing Eric Aragoni, who we never hear from. We just hear from him on Sunday. He gives us a donation, and we don't know anything about Eric. Maybe we should have Eric on the show. Now he'll stop giving.
Yeah, let's not draw any more attention to Eric. I think he has all the attention that he wants.
Yes, the real Amy Fisher, Shelly Avellino voiceover is up there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. No, down there in New Mexico. There's a story between Albuquerque and Las Vegas that I'll save for some other time. The amazing Diana Birdsall and Amy Sorenzi. Thanks, guys, for your support. It's not free to do this show, but George and I are doing the best we can. And we appreciate your contributions right above my head.
To put up a pretty cool new studio at Dan's new place. He's got a good studio that's actually a converted 2-car garage that was already converted to a studio. So it's got HVAC, it's got 2 ISO booths. So we're going to be able to make a nice space in there. I think we're going to green screen it. And we've been talking about themes, and I like the voiceover body shop. We haven't really talked a lot about it, but I think we should have like a body shop backdrop, Yeah. I think that'll be fun. But we're going to get new cameras. We're going to go full HD. It's going to be brighter, sharper, and we're going to have makeup on. So
cool. Ooh. I'd love to steal it from my wife.
Forget the makeup part.
What are you doing with that? Anyway. Okay. You can plug Narrator Helper now.
Yes, Narrator Helper. Amy Golan happens to be my wife. Runs a little operation where she will proof, edit, and master your audiobook. So if you've got a project that's looming and it's freaking you out because it's too much work to do, she's a great resource. She's very professional. She's discreet. No. Why would you need to be discreet?
Yeah, I was going to ask.
I just like saying that, and discreet. What was that movie where the woman, she said, and I'm discreet? What was that movie? Was that the Big Lebowski? Anyway, narratorhelper.com if you need help with your audiobook production. She can help you with proofing, editing, mastering, and just counseling.
All righty. And the show logs, we already talked about that, but Jack's doing a great job with that. Make sure you check the show logs for all the information. And of course, we're on YouTube, where you can find all 184 episodes of this particular program. More voiceover information than you can learn in a lifetime.
More than you require.
More than you could ever require. But it's there if you ever want to watch it. And of course, we have the podcast. So in case you don't want to watch us, not that we're thrilling to look at, but we're great to listen to. And you can listen to the podcast on Stitcher Radio, iTunes, EWABS.podbean.com. So all sorts of choices for the podcast. And make sure you like us on Facebook. How many of you in that studio right now have not liked us on Facebook? See? Everybody who could possibly like this show has signed up on Facebook. I say we take that one out of the final announcement.
We're never going to have a new. We're done, right?
We've conquered the world. Everybody has liked our page, and now we're cool. And of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors, the amazing Harlan Hogan over at Voiceover Essentials, Voiceover Extra, your employer's Edge Studio, and all of those guys for providing an uninterrupted live stream and bandwidth, which tonight was absolutely amazing because you're sort of controlling it, but it's actually being broadcast from Santa Monica.
It is, yeah. We tried this once before from Florida. I figured, well, it worked there. Let's try it again here. And again, thanks for everybody I mentioned that helped us tonight to make it happen. We've got computers, cables, microphones. It's a hydra of stuff going on here, and I think it's worked out well. This is a show I'm going to go back and watch, because when you're doing something like this and it's you haven't done this setup before, for me from a technical standpoint, it's sort of like it's like doing an Olympic event. I don't know how to, because it's a challenge. You haven't done something at that level before. It's a whole new rig. It's new elements. You have a short period of time to do it in. And it's like, it's an adrenaline rush. I can't say it another way. So it's like you do the whole show and it's like an out of body experience. So it'll be fun to watch this later and see how it actually came out. But
yeah, it's great. I mean, technologically, we've got 4 cameras going here and all the audio. That's actually pretty impressive. So, but we do teach this stuff. So. Best to practice what you preach. Anyway, acknowledgments. Again, thanking our wives because, gosh, they put up with so much. They're putting up with you not even being there tonight, George.
Actually, I have to really thank my wife, because if my wife wasn't home, we wouldn't be watching the show right now. She had to launch Team Viewer, which is the remote software I use to access my computer. It had, for some reason, I quit it somehow. And so we wouldn't be doing this show right now if Amy hadn't been able to launch Team Viewer. So thank you, Amy. You saved the show.
And our crack producer, Kathy Curridon, Anthony Gettig for his help in the chat room. Tonight, Shelly Avellino, who did a fabulous job in the chat room, asking all the questions. And of course, Jack DeGolia for the fantastic work he does with the show notes. Tim McKean for the EWABS Essentials, short little EWABS bits, and Lee Pinney, again, just for being Lee Pinney. And that's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks again to the Vegas Voicers and the Voice Actors Studio. Yes, you can applaud. Show that great crowd again, George. Keep applauding. And very good. All right. We're going to need to get an applause sign for the new studio. Yeah, I'm sure there's one of those. I mean, we have the on-the-air signs. Might as well get, an applause sign too. Let's see. Okay. So that's going to do it for us tonight. We do have a Mugman episode that we're going to show you. That I've put the link on there. Will you be able to play that, George?
No.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
Never mind. Look, if you want to watch Mugman, go to mugman.net and click on Sunshine's Dinner, which is a new one that we just did, which is actually pretty funny. And then we'll say goodnight. So I'm Dan Leonard, usually in the East and still in the East.
I'm George Whittam, usually in the West and still actually in the West.
And together we are East West Audio Body Shop. Thanks to the Vegas Voicers. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you hopefully next week.
Yay.